Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much, District 28, the great. You guys showed up. Like we are hitting record numbers. Totally exceeded my expectations, but that just shows how important this committee is. So, good evening, and thank you for showing up. And as the chair of the class size committee and first vice president of District 28's Community Education Council, I want to welcome you to the first ever class size committee meeting. Give yourself a round of applause. All right. Now, this meeting marks the beginning of a journey to implement the new class size law. And our goal here is to make this space one of respect, understanding, unity, and most importantly, solutions. We may not have all the answers right now, but we are committed to finding those who do and holding them accountable. Remember, this is not about us versus them. This is about all of us here working together for our children's future. Every voice in this room matters. Tonight, we're going to focus solely on class size. No PTAs, no school lunch, and anything that's unrelated to class size. This is about understanding the direct impact of this law and how our students, our teachers, and our community is getting affected. It is about navigating the complexities of implementation and finding the best path forward. I like quotes, and as Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So our work here is to ensure that that weapon is sharp, accessible, and effective for every child. Together, we will explore the effects of this law and push for the necessary changes. Let's make this meeting and this committee an open forum for ideas, concerns, and constructive dialogue. Few rules, simple. Always be respectful in the chat, and when speaking, let's keep this space a positive and constructive discussion. Please put all questions in the chat because we will address them as they come in, and all questions are going to be like we're recording this meeting. All questions will be sent to the district, and I will personally, with my also co-chairs and committee, work on getting every single question answered and responded to. And if you have any questions, use the raise hand feature. And a lot of these rules will make more sense as we continue. And please stay on topic. Remember, this meeting is only about class size. Not that we don't care about everything else, but we're not here for everything else. So thank you for your cooperation and just for being here tonight means a lot to all of us. And let's begin this journey with open minds and a shared commitment to creating classrooms that work for everyone. And now I would like to pass this on to one and only Tanya.
Thank you, Quentin. My name is Tanya Wendt, and I am CEC Treasurer, and I am going to share with you this evening some information regarding the class size law. Get myself out of the way so I can begin. All right, can everyone see my screen okay? So I want to give everybody a little bit of background on class size law. Many of you might be familiar, some of you might not be less familiar, but basically back in May of 2022, Senator John Liu introduced a bill, and then in September of that same year, Governor Hochul enacted Chapter 556 of the law. Basically, it requires the New York City School District to create a 5-year class size reduction plan for all New York City K through 12 districts and high schools. The law requires that we work to have new class size caps, meaning maximum amount of children per class. It also sets forth that there has to be a class size reduction plan that is approved by the Chancellor, the UST, and the Council of School Supervisors and Administrators. There has to be a prescribed timeline for the public process and work towards it. There has to be annual reports on the status and implementation of the class size reduction plan. And there are also penalties in the form of reduced state funding if adequate progress to reduce class size is not made. All right, if you're not familiar with what the class size caps are, on this slide, you will see the current UFT collective bargaining agreement caps. So in your schools right now, you'll see kindergartners are capped at 25 students per class. Under the new guidelines, they'll have to be capped by 20. Grade 1 through 3 currently is at 32 students per class. The new caps require 20 students per class. Grade levels 4 through 5 currently are capped at 32 students. The new cap will be 23. Grade level 6 through 8 in Title I right now are 30. We'll have to reduce to 23. 6 through 8 non-Title I schools are currently at 33. They'll have to be reduced to 23. If y'all are wondering why I'm reading the entire slide, it's for anybody who might not have the ability to look at the slides, or for our viewers who might be visually impaired. So bear with me, please. For high schools, the cap is currently at 34 and has to be reduced to 25. And then there are, for performing groups and physical education classes in grades 6 through 12, currently they have to be capped at 50, but they will be reduced to 40. So there are certain classes that are not subject to class size targets, in which an exemption will be allowed. Those include exemptions for space. In the event that there is not enough space, the exemption has to be approved by the Chancellor, UFT, and CSA president, and the New York City Public Schools must demonstrate capital budget is aligned to resolve the exemption. There's also exemptions for over-enrolled students, or license area shortage, which means if you don't have a sufficient number of teachers with a certain license, like bilingual math. There's an exemption for severe economic distress, and there's also an exemption for elective and specialty classes. So the class size plan. So the following list is comprised of actions that have to be taken, or that will be taken in the coming year by the Chancellor, UFT, and the CSA in order to remain in compliance with the law. So their plan is to engage with the community like they did last year with the class size working group, which was made up of about 50 people, included parents, principals, teachers, union reps, PEP members, elected officials, and others. And that group came up with over 50 recommendations of how to go about enacting the law. The plan also includes needs assessments and kind of collecting data in order to get the right numbers so that they know how to determine who needs what. Defining performance groups. So you probably heard just a second ago when I said the performance groups and physical education classes in grades 6 through 12. So this plan sets forth, well, what does performing groups mean? What's that going to look like? Capital planning means that they're coming up with strategies for expanding school space in existing schools and looking for specific sites to place new schools. Other pieces of the plan include adding funding into school budgets, continued labor partner engagement, superintendent engagement, and school community engagement, which for this current school year states that principals really should be working with their SLTs to determine and develop a proposed class size compliance plan for their school. Easier said than done, but if you haven't had a talk, if you're on SLT or you're interested, please make sure to reach out to your principal to kind of get up to speed on what their plans are with regard to attempting to become compliant. So you'll see there's this whole list, but note that the law requires that this plan prioritize schools serving populations of students with higher poverty levels. Okay, that was a lot. If we can breathe for a second, the next slide is going to have a lot too. Okay. There are certain compliance actions that principals can take at a school level. So for example, classes can be rebalanced. If you have a kindergarten class with 19 students and another kindergarten class with 21 students, Clearly, you rebalance it so they're both 20 and both meet the cap. You can repurpose space in the school. You can maximize teacher programming, meaning if you've got maybe a dean or a coach, could they potentially be teaching a class or more than one class? Fully program existing instructional space, so making sure that you're using all your available classrooms, reallocating funding or using new funding, adding fixed period coverages and pro rata courses. This really would kind of apply more to middle schools and high schools. Utilizing multi-session programming, consider shared instructional models in co-located schools, consider all individuals at the school level who hold a teaching license to teach. This one sounds an awful lot like number 3, but really this one means like if you have a dually certified teacher, a teacher who can teach more than one subject or more than one thing, kind of make sure that they have the flexibility to teach maybe other courses. And then the last one here states utilize virtual learning as a strategy. Now, before you start to worry about virtual learning, because a lot of us have shell shock from the pandemic and don't ever want to do that again, both the UFT and CSA contracts, as well as the DOE academic policy for blended learning, prevents both families and staff from being involuntarily assigned to virtual blended programs. In short, you won't be forced to become a remote learner if you don't want to be. And also, please note that this current school year, principals were not required to limit student enrollment to meet the targets, which I think is very important. People are worried about what's going to happen, right? So principals didn't have to limit any enrollment this year. Let me show you where we are, okay? This is the class size timeline. So it's a 5-year phased-in approach. Last year was the first year, and the required compliance rate was 20%. We're required to add an additional 20% of compliance each year until we are fully compliant by 2027, 2028. That is the goal. For this current school year, 2024, 2025, the required rate is 40%. The city as a whole has met or are close enough to say, check the box, that we met the 40% compliance rate. This rate does not apply to District 28 or your specific school. It is simply a rate that the city has met, and therefore nothing has to be done in this current school year to do anything further right now. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh, sorry, one more thing, I apologize. Everything that I've just discussed and spoke about comes from either the bill or the class size reduction plan. And so all of this information will also be on our website. If you go to our website, you'll actually see, all of these links as well. I'm gonna stop sharing for a moment because I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing me. I don't know if you want me to take a pause. You want to say anything more before we move on? That was a lot.
No.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
That was a lot, but you summed up what, 55 pages of the law? Like the law itself is a lot, so you summed that up a lot better than what was there. No, that's just a refresher for anybody here that just didn't know what class size was. Tanya just did a phenomenal job, just kind of summarizing, just to remind all of us the law that passed. And on the cancel on our website, D28, you would actually see all the links. You could actually see this recording when we post it. So we definitely are always going to be updating with all the facts that we can find about class size and how it's being implemented. Next, we have Simone.
Good evening. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Quentin. Yes, currently the website is not yet up to date, but it is in the making. So please do not check it right now because it's a wild mess, but it will be better very soon. And I also wanted to mention, you probably noticed that the chat is disabled. we do have question and Q&A, and you can ask us questions. And we, as Quentin stated earlier, we will use all the questions that we receive and send them to the district office so that we can get the information, because we think that the district has the most accurate information and is much better equipped to answer them than we are. Okay, sorry, I need to. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen to show you another slide in comparison. Am I at the right point in the agenda? I didn't double check to share the slide from that we received from Class Size Matters. Is that correct, or am I wrong? Can you?
No, you're good.
Okay, good. All right, let me share. So, and I was quite happy to receive this deck of slides. It's only 6. Okay. Because I think it shows how relevant this law is for our district and how important it is that we talk about this and as a community come together and see how we can make this work. As you can see, District 28 had the lowest percentage of K-3 classes meeting the caps in 2023 and 2024, the year 23-24. You can see that all the way in the front, that's 28 in comparison to all the other districts. So in 2022 and 2020, school year 22-23, it had 14.6%. That's the orange bar that you're seeing. And then it went down to 11.9. That's the blue bar you're seeing in 23-24. So it has been decreasing the compliance. It also had the lowest of 4th to 8th grade classes meeting caps in 23-24, where the compliance fell. It's all the way the bar on the left side. It was 18.7% in 22-23, and in last school year 23-24, it's now down to 8%. And as you can see, there are quite a few districts that are close to compliance. Like District 23 is like almost 80%. And here is the 3rd lowest high school classes meeting caps in 23-24. We are here, it's the 3rd bar. The orange one is from 22-23 with 28%. And the blue one is 25.8% in the school year of 23-24. Again, the compliance fell. And it has the highest average K-3 classes in the school year of 23-24 from all the districts in New York City, with 25.7 students in average. And it went up from 24.5. Let's see, I think there's one more. And it has the 2nd highest average class sizes from 4th to 8th grade in 23-24. And again, it went up from 27.4. So it has been, there has been no positive progress in our district. It was rather the opposite. And I think it's important to see where we are standing as a district in comparison to the city, because we have to do something about this. It's not going to be easy. Oh, and yes, high school classes went also up, and it's the 3rd highest average in the city, and we're in the school year of 2023-24, we were at 28.2 in average and 26.8 in 22-23. So let me stop that here. So these are the numbers for our district in comparison with other districts. And we thought this is very important for you all to know about. We all are aware that our district is unique. It's very big. It's also very unique in the way of the layout, with how the schools are in the north and in the south and of the district. So we are a very special district, and we also have a very special community, and that's why we thought together we can do a lot. Parents, principals, teachers, other stakeholders. I hope that we can work together. If you do have questions, put them into the Q&A. And I'm gonna continue with the next point. Okay, sorry. I cannot see the agenda right now, sorry. Can you help me, Quentin?
All right, so right now it's just about the appointment of public committee members. Explaining that point. You're muted.
Yeah, I can do that. Thank you. So the idea that we had was we think that we can be a much better and more resourceful committee if we have members of the public who join us. It was many times when we had the presentations in the spring mentioned by parents that they feel excluded, and that there is a lack of transparency. And so we thought it would be good to really get voices heard and included, because only if we work together as a team can we actually find solutions. The idea of this committee is to provide information like we did now, but also not only by us talking, by inviting, let's say, the school construction authority, and to get clarity on them, like what's going on in our district, to invite the district office and let them report back to the community, like what's happening, how you're planning to implement the class size law. What are the challenges? Where do you need support? To invite enrollment, because what we found out is that there are so many different players who need to work together, and they are not always working together. They make it very hard. Especially enrollment is making it very hard for principals to meet the class size law, because principals, they can start the school year with a low class size, and then as the school year progresses, enrollment is asking them to take in new students, and so they have to take in new students, so they cannot comply as they intended. And so we are interested to hear more about enrollment too, and then we are interested to hear from you and to come together as a group of interested parents, stakeholders, to see how we can work together and come up with some creative solution. And that might really take some creativity, because it is not easy. What the committee is not about is trying to work against the class size law. This is what we have to deal with. So we feel that it's pointless to fight against it. So we invite those who feel that they're gonna be in agreement with working together as a group and looking for solutions to apply. Ideally, we would like to have principals who have the time to join us. We would like to have parents who have a child who is currently in pre-K through 8th grade in this district. We left out high school because as the CEC, we have very limited access to high schools. There are a few high schools that we represent or that we have a liaison with, but But yeah, we thought the high school business is really, that's like another number. That's really, really difficult. And so we're staying out of that. We hope that other representatives, maybe from the community boards or anybody who is part of education, will join us. We created a form. We ask you who are interested to fill out the form, and we will decide depending on how many apply. We don't know how the demand is. The demand, we will be getting back to you, but we might also, if we have many interested parents and community members, we may have to have interviews or see how we can go about it. We don't want to have a too big class size committee. We were thinking about maybe around 15 or 16 members totaling. Okay, I am going to put the link for the form in, and I think I said everything that I was supposed to say. Is that correct? Okay.
Okay, so you did tap on everything, and I just saw the website is updated, so anybody could go to the website and see the updated links. We did update our District 28 website, so that's pretty cool. And you just posted the link in the chat for anybody who wanted to.
But it still has class size matters on it. It still
Reload,
has class size. I don't know
reload.
what's that. I mean, this obsession. I like class size matters as an organization, but we are not, and I don't know why
So
it's so difficult to
where's the
remove
good
class size
information,
matters.
Tanya?
I don't know. When I open it, it still
I
says
can
class
I
size
can
matters.
share my screen. I was so, you guys, where you guys can look if you want. So on our website, the District 28 website, if you go and you find our subcommittees, there's a whole bunch of committees, right? We've got plenty of them here. And if you go down to our class size law committee, here you'll see the individuals on the committee. We'll add one. Oh, no, it's updated. And then here are some of the resources we discussed tonight. So you'll see the actual link where you can get to the bill if you want to look at the 2025 class size reduction plan. If you want to look at the most recent class size working group report, you can. If you want to see, and this is what I love because I'm a data person, if you want to see what does the data look like, it's all out here because it's required to be all out here. So if you ever want to look for yourself, you can find out the last data from June by city, or by the whole city, the borough, the district, the school, whatever you want. You should be able to now navigate to these different things. And again, when Quentin earlier was saying we summarized 55 pages, it's because the reduction plan is actually 55 pages. And oddly enough, I think that the class size working group report was also 55 pages. So there's some reading material for you there if you get bored.
Awesome.
Thank
So
you. It looks like there are two though. But can you please put in the chat the one that you just used? Because it looks like the one that I accessed, I will make sure that it's being removed so that folks can access the correct website.
good
Thank
stuff,
you.
good stuff. So we did get, so yeah, you mentioned everything. Our goal is to take this to the district and to SCA and to enrollment and to whoever has the answers to our questions. UFT, they have some information, and all these questions aren't answered by one person, but a group of people. We call them the district, and that's what our job is here, to get your questions answered. I guess we're gonna go through some of these questions that came in. I did get some questions in the email, and all of those questions are gonna get answered. But I guess just to honor the ones that came in, should we just, you guys cool with that? Just saying it online, just to kind of have it on record that these questions were asked at this moment.
Sorry, Quentin, I didn't understand what you.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna go through the questions that were asked here in the chat. Cool. So one question, if we could get this translated in Chinese. That was, I'm not sure about that. I'm pretty sure these days, AI, that is possible. I'm pretty sure it's in multiple languages, but that's a question that we will get answers for. Next question. Will rezoning be on the table for 25-26 school year? As it is, our zone school had to turn some zone students away this year. Now, this is a question that I've heard from several parents and principals, and it's something that we are going to be addressing because that is a concern from a lot of people. Different reasons, but I totally understand. And we don't have the answer to that question, but we will get the answer to that question. Next question. A new high school for Southeast Queens was announced today. What was the location and did it displace any existing school? Will it be co-located? Anybody knows about this Southeast Queens school that was announced today? I'm just asking.
I believe it's in District 29, but that's pretty much all I know.
Okay, so we will. Hold on.
You know what's funny? Like when I was okay. You all should know by now. I say whatever comes to my mind. Okay, so when I remember starters, and I was like, yeah, it is.
See, Adriana, I think she was going to ask a question.
That it makes sense. People like no,
Are you answering that question?
Great, example crazy people that I was.
Can't hear you.
No, yeah, so that's what's happening. With the four people
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I was at the State of Our Schools meeting. Sorry, everyone. Adriana Licea, pronouns are she, her. I am the Queens CEC President's representatives to the PEP, which is the Panel for Educational Policy, for the School Board of the City of New York, or School District of the City of New York, something long and complicated. Anyway, the new high school that's opening in Southeast Queens is going to be the first of its kind. It's an accelerated high school. It's going to be called the HBCU, which is a historically Black college and university, early college prep. Their main partner at this time is Delaware University, I believe, go Hornets. And it is going to be under the purview of Dr. Van Ness. There is a principal who was announced. I did not catch her name, but the principal has already been selected, and it should be opening in 2025. That's also correct. But yes, it's going to partner with all HBCUs. Also, sorry, last thing. It's starting its partnership with Delaware, and it will be expanding that partnership across HBCUs. Thank you.
No, thank you. Answer
Quentin?
that question. Yes.
I saw there was one question in the chat if a student is also allowed to apply, and yes. I would say middle school students or maybe even fifth graders. And I'm sorry that I didn't put that into the form and I didn't mention it, but yes, this is something that we actually wanted to. Yes, absolutely. If you have a student who's interested and has the time, because this is usually late at night, but we did say that we will adjust the time and day according to the availability of the committee members. So we will try our best to accommodate the schedule of a student. But I think that's a great idea, and absolutely yes. Please, if you have an interested student to participate, send them the link.
Simon, where you see the question? Are we talking about Jessica's question?
I am talking about the Q&A, yeah.
Yeah. I think Jessica means if the parent has a child in grade 6 to 12, right?
Were you talking about the high school? Oh, okay. Maybe I misread it, but
Yeah, I think Jessica was
Okay.
saying if someone has child in 6 to 12 school,
well,
can they?
okay,
Yeah,
that I don't know, but but it inspired me to say students are also welcome to apply. and be part of the committee. And we will make sure if we do have a student to consider them for the committee, because I mean, the student voices are the most important voices, really. So yeah, thank you, Lou, for correcting me.
But I think any member of the community, I think we should welcome them to join the community.
Most definitely. So, all right, cool. We still got more homework to do with that school. Got some more questions coming up, but that's why we're here. But next question. How can we get the SCA to approve new school sites and maybe speed up the process of building a school building?
That'll be cool, and
That's a great question.
like she said,
How can we? And we will ask that question. And
recording, and I like it.
duly noted. Next question. Just want to say you guys are doing great. I'm a high school teacher in 28. You just get the fist bump. Can you have a child in a grade 6 to 12 school and apply? You shook your head, Simone. Was that oh, that's what the question you already did. Gotcha. Who and why was this law put into place for the New York City DOE? Who do we blame? Lou? Like, it was a team of people, but like
I mean,
my head thinks Lou, not you, Lou. Like other Lou.
the Senator Lou, yeah.
Yeah, Senator Lou.
Yeah, but I mean, to be short that because the per classroom student number in New York City is relatively high compared to other city in the nation and to the New York State. That was the most of the reason. I think most people do feel that way. When you come into public school in New York City, you see the classroom is always very crowded. More than 30 students is a lot, especially for younger grade. So that was the purpose for that law, and it was passed in the state, so it's become a enforceable law. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Lou. Cannabis Forum, yes. Northwell Health High School. What was the location of the high school in South Queens? Did you say the location? We didn't have it yet. Oh, Tanya?
I think you may have skipped parent coordinator. Here's a thing. I can't open the form to fill it out. Do we make sure that the form is wide open? You can't fill it out.
Oh,
It's
yes.
open. I changed it so that you don't
Okay.
have to have a Google sign up here. So it should be open.
Okay, Mrs. Torres, I'll send it to you and we'll work together, okay? I'll make sure that you get access to
Good.
it.
Okay. 6 to 12 is under the Van S. I'm sure it'll be fine. Awesome. And then can our parent association approach our schools, or that's what it is, PA, right? Can our PA approach our schools to get feedback on their action plan, or rather, are all school principals in D28 having a plan at this time? I read that correctly. Okay. Go ahead, Tanya.
So earlier, I mentioned that part of the plan is supposed to be and include community school engagement. So principals are supposed to be hopefully working with their SLTs, their school leadership teams. So the president of your PA would automatically be on your school SLT. So if whoever your PA president is, maybe reach out to them and get it on the agenda for the next upcoming SLT meeting, because it really is, it's really supposed to have, parent and guardian buy-in at SLT. So I would suggest doing that.
Facts. That is great.
Oh my God,
What is the actual demand that we know about for virtual learning?
It's not necessary, but I.
GK, you would type in an answer to that one?
If you talk to me, I'm the kind of person I can.
Oh, no, okay. That's something that we will get the actual plan, actual demand that we know about. Okay. And then if a teacher is employed by a specific school, and if they were to be a designated virtual teacher, would the school still be granted the same revenue per online student, as well as cost per virtual professor? This is important to the analysis due to budgeting. It's an interesting question. I wonder if the U of T would have that answer directly. Yeah, right?
That's probably a U of T question. Yeah. Maybe
is
we
still
can
there?
ask Bruce. Yes, I
Bruce.
saw that Bruce is here. Let's see. Maybe Bruce can help. Bruce, would you like to give an answer to this question?
I don't have a direct answer to that. I don't think what I will say is let's not focus too much on virtual learning. It was like one of the possibilities. Our district doesn't even have to address virtual learning if we don't want to, you know. That's what it comes down to. But I don't want anyone to think that it's anything like the COVID days. It's nothing like that. There have been pilots in some schools across the city where virtual learning has been utilized. And it was just brought up as a possibility of a way to possibly reduce class size by having certain students take virtual learning classes. Right now, it's only happening in some high schools, and it's basically like a pilot basis.
Thanks. That's our U of T rep always coming through with the clutch. So awesome. So those are all our live questions that came on through the Zoom. And we have other questions that I have a lot of questions in my email. So I'm going to be sending all of these questions and we will be sharing them with our in our class size section, but with our community, because our goal is to answer all these questions. And if we can't get an answer, we're going to find out why can't we get that answer so we could dig deeper into getting these answers. Class size law affects all of us different ways. And if it doesn't affect you now, it will affect you as these dates and deadlines meet. And a lot of concerns are transitioning. Will your child still be able to like get into the school he or she wants to when they're going to even high school? If high school implements that law and enrollment doesn't update it. So it's one of those things that we don't want to get stuck and get these walls and all these concerns kind of like really just meet us, because it will meet all of us eventually. And our goal is to kind of step ahead of it, to understand it and how we can navigate it better for all of us. So that's all our questions tonight. Any other committee members wanted to throw anything else out there before we hit our, like, we're done before 9, end of the goal. But like I said, this was an introductory meeting of what we wanted to kind of just show and just kind of start the momentum, keep the conversation going, as we will be here throughout the year with more and more updates and information. But Lauren, let's go.
Some funny immigrants, you know.
Hi there. There's this. Yeah, I just want to say, leave it on a positive note, hopefully. I know that there are a lot of concerns and a lot of fears around what could happen, but you know, we are, as you saw in the data that Tanya and Simone presented, we're in a very unique position. We have the highest K-3 class sizes in the city, second highest for the upper elementary grades, and third highest beyond that. So we need solutions for our kids, right? And I really am so heartened to see all of these people that showed up tonight, because there's a lot of wealth of knowledge in this space and in our district. And I'm really hopeful that we can come to a unique, positive solution for our district, because what works in other places in the city might not work here, right? So we need all of the knowledge and experience that we all share, and we're going to find I hope that we have some students that join in. That would be thrilling. We need to hear what our students' concerns are. And yeah, I just want to thank each and every one of you for showing up on a Tuesday evening, because this is really important. And I know we all care deeply about our kids. So thank you all so, so much.
Thank you, Lauren. I knew you was gonna come out with some fire. But Doyla? Doyla? Did I say that correctly? AJ? Doyla Galvez? Okay, maybe.
We're not allow public to
Okay.
speak about it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So yeah, if you have a question, just put it in the chat, Doyla, or if you just raise your hand by accident.
I just want to say one more thing, because recently we are working on, schools budget stuff like that. So one thing people should realize that the key is not space, is money, right? So even for school has the space, if they don't have the money, they cannot do anything. Most of the school, they're, just teacher salary, compensation count on the school budget probably more than 95%. So the principal usually have very, very little space to work with, smaller class if they want more teacher, and they don't have any money to work with on that front. So basically, the funding formula had to update it to make it work for most of the teacher, and you have to hire more teacher, then this is not an issue, so I think eventually we have to get someone from the DOE to give us a very detailed explanation of their plan for the next few years, like what exactly the formula gonna change, where the money come from, and how do you set up the hiring process. You can't do all the hiring in 1 year, in the phase a couple years. So those are, the devil in the details. So we need, bring those questions to DOE and demand some answer. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Lou just wanted to just drop the mic before we got out of here. You go, Lou. Devil is in the details. So, all right, we just have a few more questions and then we're gonna be wrapping up. So, question was, oh wait, let me see. Okay, cool. Can you help me understand how class size got larger in just 1 year? Is there any data to say why the class size got larger? Yes, and we will get that data for you because it's part of a lot of different data. But yes, that could be answered. Every subject in high school except history is a shortage area and meets exemption. Noted. Please share this in the chat. uft.org, your rights, know your rights, shortage license areas. Okay. So, yeah, noted. So, again, we want to thank everyone for coming. We will, of course, let you guys know of, the answers to the questions and our next meeting date as we get all these answers together. And in the meantime, you could send any of your questions to cec28@schools.nyc.gov that you might have that might come out of this meeting tomorrow, whenever. We are here to answer all questions and get us all the answers and solutions to help us navigate this new law that is already impending on our district. Other than that, is there anybody else? GK? Oh, you were just saying bye? All right, so.
Thank you and good night.
Oh, wait, is that a hand up, Julie?
No, that's Jessica's got it.
Okay, cool. So, all right. Thank you for coming, and we will be in touch. Don't forget the form to apply to be on our committee. We're very open, and we will be going through those forms. So again, you guys have a great night. Thank you for coming out on a Tuesday, and this is the first of many meetings. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Hey, Nakifa's here. Nakifa.
Oh, hi, Nafifa.
I didn't see her before. Hey, I didn't see her before. Oh, was the video? Oh,
I
asking questions.
just got, I literally just
put
got
them all
in
in
because I
here.
just finished teaching. So yeah, I got in just as you were wrapping
It was
up.
good. It was well attended, which is great. Shall we start asking? Yeah, I guess everybody a chance to leave. Are we going to do a? Okay, let's see.
So,
I'm gonna stop the recording.
okay. The
Oh, thank you.